Come with me to a place of wondrous contradictions. A place that is silent and unstirring, yet restless and alive. A place of untold peace and boundless dread. Come with me into the very cradle of darkness, where those who dwell alone.
Lovely weather. Nature's really rolling out the welcome mat for us.
It rained the first time we were here. We were just too preoccupied to notice.
Harry and Margo Sloane are returning to the Fairview Inn, a place where their love first blossomed. It's been 9 years since that cherished weekend they spent here. The hotel hasn't changed, but they have.
Look at this place. It's turned into a retirement home.
A little louder, Harry. I don't think they heard you.
Can I help you?
It's Mr. Jennings, isn't it?
Why, yes.
You had that sweet Angora cat. Remember, Harry? The one that used to stretch out on the counter.
Dear Rosie. She passed on 2 years ago in May.
Oh, I'm sorry to
We're
hear.
the Sloanes. We have a reservation for the weekend.
Ah, the Sloanes, yes. Returning to us after all these years. I've been holding room 212 for you, the honeymoon suite.
Has the room changed much?
Oh, no, it's quite the same. It still has that wonderful view of the shoreline.
And that charming lighthouse.
With the megawatt beacon that glares through the window in the middle of the night.
That's my husband. Always looking on the bright side of things.
I hope you have a pleasant stay.
My God, Harry. Everything's exactly the way I remembered.
Including the phone. You could kill him to get a push-button model? How am I supposed to check my voicemail?
We spent the first night right here, right in front of the fire.
Where's my cell phone?
We never even made it to the bedroom.
It's gotta be in here somewhere.
I remember staring up at that painting while you slept beside me. I kept thinking how sad and lonely it seemed. Everything so serene, so idyllic. And that solitary figure having no one to share it with.
Oh, hell. I'll bet it's sitting on my desk in the office.
Funny. It doesn't seem so depressing now. If you have to be alone, that's the perfect place to be.
I'm going downstairs. See if I can find a real phone in this place.
Harry, wait.
What now?
Don't go. Stay here with me.
Oh, give me a break, Margo. This is business.
The whole reason we came up here was to forget all that and spend time together.
Meanwhile, I've got 2 cases coming to trial next week and a pair of dyslexic interns writing my briefs. We've got all weekend to spend together.
Don't you understand? It may be too late by then.
Look, I just drove nonstop all the way up here. I'm just too tired to fight with you right now.
Maybe we have no reason to fight anymore, Harry. People only fight when they're trying to save something.
You're very fond of that painting, aren't you? I'm sorry if I startled you. The door was open and I thought you might like some company.
Yes, of course. I guess my mind was somewhere else for a minute.
I can understand why. Let me introduce myself. Name's Evans.
Are you a guest here?
Oh, yes, I've been at the Fairview for years. In fact, I stay in this very floor.
And Mrs. Evans?
Just myself. Always alone. It's a terrible thing to be alone.
A person can be married and still feel alone.
When the suite is unoccupied, I often come here to look at this landscape.
From the moment I saw it, I couldn't take my eyes off it. It's so lovely.
And yet, somehow incomplete.
Incomplete. In what way?
You see that forlorn figure on the dunes? That's the artist himself when he was young. A man filled with failed hopes and lost dreams, so ravaged by loneliness that he created a vision of perfect tranquility with no one else to share it.
Seems selfish, creating a paradise all for himself.
Something he regretted to his dying day. Have you ever taken a really good look at it? All you have to do is move closer, much closer. Close enough to get to the very heart of the pigment. See how the rolling dunes invite you beyond the frame. Feel the warm dampness of the sun-drenched sand. You can almost hear the ocean pounding against the shore. Breathe the fresh air that cleanses your body and soul. All it takes is a little imagination and the desire to let yourself go.
Where have you been? We were supposed to meet here an hour ago.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, that makes everything right.
The silver-haired gentleman came into the room. He had the saddest eyes.
Am I supposed to be jealous?
His name is Mr. Evans. He's been living here for years. He told me all about the artist who painted the landscape.
First you give me grief for not spending time with you. Then you ditch me to hang out with some senile old guy who just happens to wander by. Make up your mind what you want.
I have. Go home, Harry. Go back where you belong.
What are you talking about? I came up here to be with you.
It's no use, Harry. Whatever we had once is gone. We only stay together now because we're afraid to tell each other the truth.
Which is?
That it's all over. We don't have one single reason to stay together anymore. I mean it, Harry. I want you to go home.
You talking about a divorce?
No.
Well then what, damn it?
I think I'll go back up to the room by myself.
Stare at that painting?
The most extraordinary thing happened to me upstairs. I was looking at the painting, thinking about how absolutely finished we are. I felt empty and useless. I just wanted to die. And then Mr. Evans came into the room. I just kept staring and staring at that blissful landscape. It was like...
Like what?
It was like I was being swallowed. It was like I'd reached the point of disappearing, that if I'd looked in the mirror, there'd be no reflection. All I had to do was let go. Really let go. There'd be nothing. Nothing but peace. And then I thought about you, Harry. And I said to myself, no, wait. Give it one more try. Maybe this time it'll be like it was before. That was silly. So silly.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. If you want a divorce, why don't you just say so? Margo, Margo, I'm sorry. I don't want to leave you. I want to stay and try to make this work. Look, why don't we start over? Pretend like we just got here. Come on, Margo, talk to me. Margo, where are you? Margo?
Let me get this straight, Mr. Sloan. You say you followed your wife from the bar. You watched her go in the room, you stayed in the hall to think things over. 5 minutes later, you come in here, and there's no sign of her.
Her clothes, her suitcase, everything's still here. Everything but her. She couldn't have gone through there. The windows were all closed, locked from the inside. That's what happened, I swear.
With all due respect, people don't just vanish into thin air.
God almighty, don't you think I know that?
After you discovered she was missing, what'd you do next?
I ran downstairs into the lobby, asked the desk clerk if he'd seen Margo leave. Then I tried the doorman, the bellboy, anybody I could find, even though I knew she never left this room. What, do you think I'm crazy? Do you think I'm making this up?
Tell me, Mr. Sloan, and the two of you been quarreling before she disappeared?
Why do you ask that?
You told me you came here together to sort things out. Sounds to me like a relationship in trouble.
What are you trying to suggest, detective? That I killed my wife, chopped her into tiny little pieces, and flushed it all down the John?
That's your suggestion, not mine.
It makes no sense. She's got to be here somewhere, but where? Where?
Does your wife know anybody else staying at this hotel?
Absolutely not. The only people she spoke to were the desk clerk and some old guy who wandered into the room when I was down at the bar.
What old guy?
She told me he was a guest. Evans, that's his name.
Evans? Evans?
An older guy with silver hair, that's what she said.
We have no one registered here under that name.
That's impossible. My wife told me he'd been staying here for years.
I'm sorry, Mr. Sloan. I wish we could help you.
Thanks.
But the motive is clear. We even got sworn statements from several hotel bar patrons that say they saw them squabbling big time the night she disappeared.
Look, before we rush to indict this guy, what's your theory?
Well, I figure he got her liquored up, dragged her out the service exit, and then dumped her in the water.
Anything to back it up?
Well, no, not yet, but if I had more time...
Nothing. There's not a shred of physical evidence to bring this guy to trial, let alone bring him in for further questioning.
So just cut him loose. Just blow him a kiss and pretend like nothing happened?
Continue the investigation, Nash. Give me something concrete, and I will be happy to put him up on murder one.
Look, nobody just disappears off the face of the planet. Sloan killed his wife, and I'm gonna prove it. Go home anytime you want. You're a free man. From now. Free. Nice going, Sloan. I always admire a job well done.
You really think I killed her, don't you?
As far as DA's concerned, you're clean as a whistle. So, you can pack your bags, turn in your room key, and hightail it back to Boston. But I'm telling you, Sloan, if I find one blood stain, one fingernail, one hair of her head, I will nail you if it's the last thing I do.
I'll make it easy on you, Nash. I'm gonna stay right here in this hotel and tear things apart until I find out what happened to my wife. Where have you been? I called your office 10 times.
Oh, you finally decided to spill your guts.
I found her, Nash. I know where she is.
I'm all ears.
Margo said it was like being swallowed up. She said if she looked in a mirror, there'd be no reflection.
Hold it. What are you talking about?
She's here, Nash. She's been right in this room all along.
Look, I don't have time for this, Sloan. I got a wife waiting up for me.
I'm not drunk, Nash. Look for yourself. The day we checked into this room, there was only one figure in that painting, and now there's another. The woman on the sand dunes. Don't you see?
See what, Sloan?
It's my wife. She couldn't stop staring at the landscape. She said it looked so serene, so idyllic, the perfect place to be.
That has got to be the damnedest alibi I ever heard. Talk about denial.
I know it sounds crazy, Nash, but it's true. Somehow, some way,
Nobody just walks into a painting, Sloan.
my wife did.
You killed your wife.
I didn't. But no one will ever believe me.
Nobody that's sane.
I didn't believe Margo. All I could do was push her away. How alone she must have felt. The way I feel right now. There was a time when we laid by that fireplace wrapped in each other's arms, and I told her how much I needed her. How much a part of me she was. If only I could have told her again when I had a chance. All I had to do was let go, and there'd be nothing. Nothing but peace. That's what Margo said.
She's never gonna have that peace, Sloan. Not until you do what's right.
Have you ever taken a really good look at it? All you have to do is move closer, much closer, and let yourself go.
Hey, Sloan, you okay in there? Sloan. Sloan.
What can be worse than the loss of love? Except perhaps the loss of belief that it can return again. For Harry and Margo Sloan, a flame that had once died has been rekindled for all time. And a landscape that was once unfinished is now complete.